I lead communications at Untapped Global, and today is our first of actually 2 sessions of the Nest because we are taking part in our partners Invest Africa's Africa Debate event that's happening this entire week. We're thrilled to be a part of it, and congrats to the team, Eleanor, Alex, the whole team, Karen, for putting together an incredible event. We're really, really excited to be a part of it this week. Today, as part of our morning session, really, because we have one later this afternoon, we have an incredible lineup of founders and also investors that are joining us really from around the world. We'll get introduced to them in just a second, but we have 2, like I said, incredible founders from here in South Africa. I'm based down here in Cape Town, and we'll have everyone kind of share where they're joining from all over the world and get a little bit of an intro before they pitch. But before we do that, we typically do a little bit of crowd control. We are operating on Zoom on actually a meeting, which makes it a little bit more of an open forum than a webinar format, which means that we ask that when you're not speaking, you mute yourselves, please, just to help for audio quality. And that if you're in the audience, you stay muted, of course. You can definitely make use of the chat box for like networking. Drop your LinkedIn link in there. There's a lot of great networking that happens in the chat box throughout the events, even during the pitches. So please, if you're in the audience, go ahead, introduce yourself, and maybe share a little bit about yourself. LinkedIn links are great. And also questions. You can also ask throughout the pitches. You can drop your questions in there, and we will pull during the Q&A with the angels. We will pull a few questions from there as well. So please make use of the chat box. I see some really great connections happen there every single event. So aside from that, just stay muted. And I think that means we're good to go there. Moving on to then quickly introductions to our angels. We have 3 really, really incredible investors joining us today from, again, all over the world. I'll introduce them briefly, and then please go ahead, yes, and unmute yourself, come in and say hello, and let us know where you're joining from. Probably some kids joining from home too. So first and foremost, Lelemba, Phiri, please, from Africa Trust Group. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello.
Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be here. I'm an angel investor, but I'm also a fund manager for 2 VC funds. One is called the Ventures Fund, which is an equity fund that invests at seed level. And another one is the Empress Fund, which is a more innovative financing fund, early stage. So I'm super excited to be here and to take part in today's proceedings. Thanks for inviting me.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Great intro. We're thrilled to have you. Next up, we have Hans Otterling, who has been around and on the Nest for a very long time. Our CEO, Jim, has also pitched on his version of the Nest, which is called the Lion's Cage here in South Africa. Hans, great to have you. Please come along and introduce yourself.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Lindy. So I'm sitting in Stockholm. I'm sitting at the Northzone Foundation, which is a huge impact foundation based here in Stockholm. They're also building Northzone House in Kigali, Rwanda. I've been in venture for 15 years. We have a fund which has $1.5 billion under management, which is focusing on Europe. We're the first investor in Spotify and so on. But what makes me so exciting to be here today is the fact that I see an amazing emerging African tech, great companies emerging out of Africa, focusing on tech. And I love to be a part of this, I would say, emerging African new dawn of what we can do with tech on everything, banking, e-health, education, everywhere. I think it's such a fantastic opportunity for entrepreneurs in Africa to really help the continent in many, many ways to thrive and be better, a better place to live. So it's super to be here. Very nice. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. What an intro. Thank you so much, and thrilled to have you here as well. You'll see also that we have some polls popping up for some audience participation. So go ahead and vote from where you're joining us from. And last but not least, from the Angels side, we have Michelle Anderson joining us from ABSA Group. Hi, Michelle, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Lindy. Yeah, great to be here today. Yeah, I kind of have a bit of a different background from Hans and Lelemba, work for ABSA and head up group digital partnerships. So really focusing on how we can collaborate with startups to really drive both growth in the startup industry as well as new ways to think about doing business and financial services. Agree with you, Hans. I think the rise up of tech startups in Africa is really exciting. And I think as a bank, we recognize that and really want to play a role in that. Thanks, Lindy.
Absolutely. Thanks again for being here. And where are you joining us from, Michelle? Sorry, I may have missed it.
From Joburg, South Africa.
From Joburg. Okay, great. So we are still a bit spread out. Awesome. Thanks again. Which brings us to then, speaking of the incredible innovation happening here across the continent, but also more specifically in South Africa for this episode. And Hans noted it, actually, both sectors that are being focused on today, which is health tech and edutech, with two incredible founders, starting with Zanele Matome, CEO and founder of Welo, a health tech company here in South Africa. Please, Zanele, a bit of an intro before your pitch, please. Let's see.
Hi everyone. My name is Zanele. I'm a founder and CEO of Welo, based in South Africa. So I'm very happy to be here today. So yeah, looking forward to the pitch. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks for being here. I must say, I think your tweet, that was your marketing tweet or your promo tweet for this, got some of the most love of any of our Nest tweets. You have a lot of fans and a lot of supporters, so we're excited to have you here. And I think a lot of people are happy to see you up here too. So thanks for being here. And last but certainly not least, our second founder then, Megan Farr, CEO and founder of PlaySense, an edutech company here in South Africa. Please, Megan.
Hi, yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm an occupational therapist by training. I'm the co-founder of PlaySense, which is an edutech company based in South Africa. Majority of our schools are there. I'm actually currently based in Jersey, Channel Islands. So I'm looking forward to chatting to you all later.
Beautiful. I hope you have nice weather. That sounds tropical and nice. It's cold here in Cape Town today, so jealous. But perfect. Thank you guys so much for joining. And I do also just have to point out the somewhat obvious that we have a lineup of really incredible female founders, first of all, but also investors on the episode, which honestly was unintentional. I'm happy to report was unintentional. This is not a female founders in tech episode. This is just, we have been sourcing some really, really incredible talent across the board. So I did also want to shout that out. But great, that kind of takes us to the end of essentially our introduction. We're going to start with Zanele. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen and she can go ahead and share hers. Like I said, there's 5 minutes on the clock for each pitch. I'll be keeping time on my side and then we'll hand it over to the Angels for 15 minutes Q&A. And please, in the audience, feel free to drop your questions throughout the pitch as well, and we'll pull some questions that we think are relevant from there as well. So definitely get involved in the chat box. Zanele, are you ready? You can go ahead and share your screen. I'll queue up our timer here. You're on mute, Zanele. Are you having trouble? Let's see.
Yes, can you tell me when to start, please?
Yeah, down here at the bottom, you should be able to share. There's I think a big green button that says share screen.
Hold on a sec. Oh yeah, sorry about that.
No worries, take your time. Perfect. Yes, okay, looks great. Whenever you are ready, you can go ahead and get started.
Okay. Hi everyone, this is Zanele, the CEO and founder of Welo. So the problem that we're solving the problem of access to healthcare for Africans. I'll take you through a typical journey of our client. We have our B2C and we have our B2B. So with our B2C, we have Zanele who is in Harangua, who has to take, 2 taxis, 4 a.m. in the morning, and go and fetch her medication at the nearest hospital. She gets at the hospital at 5 a.m. She queues. She then gets her medication only at about 12 p.m. So it means now that I've lost my time, I've lost half of my day, and I'm working class. So it means now that I've also lost money at work because I'm a factory worker. It's no work, no pay. So that's our typical client. Where we come in as well, just a click of a button, Zanele can just log in, give us her script, and then we have our script drivers go and pick up the meds from the hospital and deliver at home. So that's our B2C, medicine delivery for people who are mostly on chronic and people who are really in need and people who need to save, who need to buy time and money and convenience. And then we have our second leg of our clients. That's your B2B. So your B2B, that one is at home labs and at home healthcare. So our typical client will be a practitioner or an insurance company. So I will be, as a general practitioner, making a telephone consultation with a client. And once the general practitioner has done the consultation, they'll say, hey, well, we've just done a consultation with Lundi. When you go back to a home.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to pause your time, but your connection, it may just be on my side, is a little broken. So I'm wondering if you might try talking maybe closer to your mic. I'm just going to test it out, or possibly, let's see. Sorry, everyone, for the interruption. I think this might help. Try talking.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it comes and goes, but maybe just, try to speak very clearly and a little bit slower. And I think that might help. We'll add a few seconds to your time, so no stress there.
Yeah. Lundi, I don't know if it's better if I go after Meg, because I think I just want to sort out some things here. I think.
Yeah, I think that's okay. Is everyone else okay with that?
Can you please do me that favor, Meg?
Perfect. Sorry, Meg, we may cue you up a little bit faster than expected.
No problem.
And it's a good point from Travis in the audience that in the meantime, if all of us maybe turn off video while Meg pitches, that sometimes helps with bandwidth as well. And there's an echo from, okay, I hear you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and just mute everyone that is not on mute besides Meg. Perfect, we'll just keep it just us. And let's see, the only thing is now, I just need Zanele to stop sharing unless, sorry guys, let's see. I've got view options for, okay, Meg, I can see your screen. Can everyone else, Michelle, maybe I'll try this with you. Can you see Meg's screen? Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay. Sorry for the interruption, but I think it'll benefit everyone if we can hear Zanele a little bit better. So let's restart the clock. And whenever you are ready, Meg, let's do a quick audio check as well.
Can you hear me well? Did you hear me?
Yep. Okay, you sound great. I'm gonna stay on video, but I think we're good to go from here. Whenever you are ready. Thanks, Meg.
Great, thank you so much. So I'm Meg Forer from PlaySense. We are an EdTech solution that is going to be transforming early childhood education. So the problem that the world is facing at the moment is that parents need early childhood education in order to be economically active. And in that transaction, when they put their children into childcare, they believe that they're getting good education. The problem is that globally, teachers are undertrained and under-supported. And the type of curriculum is not equipping children for the skills of the future. And that's where PlaySense comes in. We have developed a pedagogy that is based on the future world, soft skills like self-regulation, executive function, and creativity. We've developed this curriculum into both a training portal for teachers and parents, as well as a curriculum portal. The teachers are trained in the PlaySense pedagogy. They conduct PlaySense micro schools in parents' homes or in their own home for up to only 6 children. So our groups are small, our quality is high. We also have powered by schools, which is when a teacher actually takes our curriculum and uses it in her own school. And our final product is homeschool education, where parents can conduct the education themselves in their home. The addressable market, we believe that if we achieve only 5% of the addressable market in South Africa, which is where we are currently rolling out our program, that is worth $7 million. Globally, what we know is that 5% of the world's population is between 2 and 5 years old, giving us a world population of 432 million children, of which 30% are in early childhood education, and 50% of those, their parents pay privately because governments do not cover school fees for children under 5 years old. A little bit about our journey. As I mentioned, we started in Cape Town with our very first micro school in 2016. In April last year, we secured seed investment. At the time, we had 24 schools, and that seed investment was based on two things. Number one, our traction in South Africa, and number two, our pivot at the beginning of COVID, where we pivoted our program to be an online program as well as an in-situ micro school program. Since then, in November last year, we were registered with the South African government, and in April this year, we rolled out in July this year, we rolled out our homeschool homeschool product. In terms of our business streams and our revenue model, what we do is we train our teachers. We take a once-off training and equipment revenue fee from our teachers of 32,000 Rand. And then we take 19% of their school fees. Parents meet up with teachers on the online portal that we have built, like a marketplace solution. We take the parents' revenue or school fees, and we pay 81% across to the teachers and retain 19% of the micro school fees and 100% of our homeschool product. Our competition worldwide in terms of micro schools are Wonder Schools in America and Tiny in the UK. The difference between us and all of our competitors is that we are the only micro school and early childhood education program that has a registered play-based curriculum focused on future core competencies. And we have a learner management system which executes the program and delivers it to parents and to teachers. A little bit about our team. Lara Schoenfeld is an occupational therapist. She's our director of education. I am the CEO. I'm the author of 8 parenting titles and have developed 2 mobile applications. I had one successful exit in 2014 in a baby products company, and I'm in charge of the strategic direction and business development. Melissa Cumming is our COO. She comes to us from e-commerce in South Africa. Dane Matthews, our lead tech lead, and Andrew Wiley, who has a background in early childhood education, is our CFO. The investment opportunity that we have on offer is an opportunity of $700,000 or 10 million South African rands. And that is going to be to build out our homeschool product and our teacher training. So just a little bit about where those funds will go. About 8% of the funds are going to go towards rolling out our micro school projects in South Africa. We already have 50 schools. By the end of this year, we'll have 50 schools, and we intend to move that to 100 schools in South Africa next year. We also will have 4 schools in the UAE working or functioning by the end of the year. 43% is going towards building out our training and our curriculum, and 27% to the homeschool technology, which is a learner management system. We currently use a white labeled learner management system, and we're going to be building out our own. Thank you very much for your time.
Even early, which never happens, a good 20 seconds early. Thank you so much, Meg. Very, very clear pitch and well said. I will hand it over to the angels and also invite anyone in the audience as well to drop your questions. Everyone else can come back, or angels can come back on video, and I'll hand it over to you guys for feedback. But great pitch, thank you.
Thank you.
So can I go first?
Please start us off.
Super presentation. Thank you, Meg. So I just want to understand how you're actually acquiring children, how you motivate parents to enroll their kids to your school. I like the model where you actually deliver a whole product, including the human factor. But how do you actually do customer acquisition, and what kind of customer lifetime value do you have when you actually get someone signing up? Maybe you can just show us the unit economics on your business model.
Yeah, so first of all, in terms of customer acquisition, we have 2 methods of doing that. The one is traditional marketing, predominantly digital marketing. We use a lot of webinars. As an expert in the parenting space, I deliver webinars at least once a month that parents will join, and then they become part of our acquisition funnel. We then and that's in terms of the parents. We also, I have a mobile application called Parent Sense, and that application has had 40,000 people join it over the course of the last year, and they become part of our funnel that then comes through because we know their baby's date of birth and we can move them through and start to market to them as soon as their child reaches the right age. In terms of our teachers, again, digital marketing, webinars, and our teachers can come through and actually do teacher training without signing up for our curriculum, and then we upsell them into our curriculum and into our micro school model. Once somebody's joined us, our teachers usually don't leave us, so we focus very, very heavily on customer delight when it comes to our teachers. We support them. Our teachers get more out of us than they do out of a traditional bricks and mortar school in terms of support. So our teachers don't leave us. They're usually with us. I mean, we've only been going for 4 years, and we've probably had a turnover of about 5 out of 50 teachers. Our parents have a lifetime value of, or little children have a lifetime value of between 18 months and 3 years, depending on how long and how many years they stay with the teacher.
And maybe you can give us some numbers on, if you get a child in and he stays for, or she stays for 3 years, what kind of revenues do you get? And we can just understand, on a unit level, how the business model is working.
Yeah, so our parents pay approximately 3,000 Rand a month. That does depend on areas. So if a parent, our school fees range according to if a parent is in a higher LSM area in South Africa or a lower one, or in a different territory globally. But in South Africa, let's take it that the average is 3,000 Rand a month. That goes to the teacher. She has a maximum of 6 children in her group, which means that her revenue would then be, you'd be looking at about 18,000 Rand, and we take 18% of that. So an average group in South Africa is 3,000 Rand revenue for us. And on top of that, every time we sign a teacher, our margins mean that we take away about 12,000 Rand per teacher signed up who's trained and with her equipment.
Thank you.
So we like to say that our lifetime value of a group is about 15,000 Rand. For one teacher coming in, and then you've got the and then you've got the children as well.
Thanks, Meg, for a great presentation. I think looking at the 3 kind of lines of your business, being the pod schools at home, the niche ones, the homeschooling, and then other schools buying your curriculum. Which part of that business are you seeing as, or have you identified as the largest growth area of your business that you're focusing on? That's the first question. And then the second question is, given the age group that you're targeting, age 3 to 5, and with most parents having to work from home, have you found that the homeschooling of such young kids works? And have you found that business model is really taking off?
Yeah, really great question. So first of all, because we started off with micro schools, that's definitely been the part of our business that has had the biggest traction. When we pivoted to online schools, we did expect that potentially that would be our biggest area of growth. But exactly as you pointed out, many parents are looking for childcare primarily and education as a second priority for children under 5 years old. And so that's why our micro school model definitely is the one that has the most traction and that we know is most dependable. The difficulty there is that it isn't as scalable because we do need people on the ground for the different territories that we're going into. I mean, it is scalable and we are growing it, but it's not as scalable as a high-tech product. And that's the reason why we've developed our homeschool program, and we're fleshing that out more. What we found there, we only launched a month ago, and we've already had 20 parents sign up, and that's an annuity stream, which, a monthly subscription. So we believe that is going to be our highest area of scale long term, because it's a really low touch product. On the ground with different territories we're going into.
Fantastic. I have a question from the Africa Debate platform for you, Meg. Do you have buy-in from the South African Education Department? Anything from the public sector?
Yes. So first of all, little schools, play schools actually don't fall under the Department of Education yet, the DBE. They actually fall under the DSD, the Department of Social Development. We were actually the very first program in South Africa to be registered by the DSD. That happened in November last year. And so they have approved our program as a program rather than as a facility. Prior to that, the South African government only signed off on buildings and infrastructure. And what we know about Africa and grassroots level is that if you're depending on infrastructure, which is very expensive, we're never going to roll out early childhood education through the whole of Africa. So we were the first program to be registered. Next year, we will be moving under the Department of Basic Education, the DBE, as will all play groups, and we'll be canvassing the government at that stage as well.
Fantastic. Any other questions from the Angels? We do have another one from the audience. Your local competitors, you mentioned them from the UK and the US. Are there any here locally in South Africa or on the continent?
No, there's nobody conducting micro schools in a franchise model as we are. You would get individual kind of a teacher who has maybe left a school herself and has set something up in her garage with 6 children. You would get that, but we don't have anybody who's competing with us in the micro school space in Africa. In terms of the homeschool product, there are homeschool products for children under 5 years old. But most of them don't focus on play in the same manner as we do. So we focus on imaginary play and soft skills and guide the parents in that way.
So I'm just declaring that we are invested in PlaySense. Meg, it's great to see you here.
Hi, Lelemba.
How are you doing?
Okay.
I think it would be great for you to speak about some of the international opportunities that you're seeing out there and where you are feeling in terms of markets you could get the next level of traction as well.
Yeah, so there's 2 ways that we're scaling. One is globally and the other one is down in quintiles in South Africa. So let me deal with the global piece first. We have had a number of applications for agency agreements across the world. Our first agency agreement was signed with the UAE in March this year. And they're going to be rolling out schools at the moment in what are we calling in-center, which basically means that these are center-based schools that want to use our curriculum for their children, not in-home. And the reason we're not going in-home there yet is that we're just busy trying to still navigate what goes on in terms of the regulations for the territory. But we will be scaling globally into each territory, and we will be doing it through an agency agreement with somebody on the ground who understands the jurisdiction and the regulations there. The other vertical that we're going to be scaling down in are the quintiles. So for those of you who are in education, you'll know that quintile 5 are children who come from families who earn over 50,000 Rand a month, which means that they are fee-paying families, private school families. There's a missing middle who earn between 20 and 50,000 Rand a month combined household income. And that is who we're going to be targeting next. That's called quintile 4. And we can roll out this program into quintile 4 with different fee structures, but exactly the same model.
Meg, I have a question regarding the quality check. So you enroll a teacher, they run the program, they pay you 32,000 Rand. What happens if they don't, they don't make it? How do you run the process of making sure that at the end you're really providing a quality service? So that's one question. The second question I'm going to take right away. Where is your bottleneck? Is it teachers or pupils or both? Okay. What's hindering your growth? So, but the first question, how do you make sure you have quality?
Yeah, so we're fastidious about quality, and the way that we manage it is first of all with our intake program. So we vet our teachers very carefully. Everything from criminal checks and so on are done. We also train them very carefully, and then they go into a cohort of training teachers where we're very hands-on with them. We have what are called pod managers in our management crew. So a pod manager will oversee a pod of up to 50 teachers, and she's in touch with them all the time. She's speaking to the parents, she's speaking to the teachers. The teachers have to qualify for SACE points, which are continuing education points, and we provide that for them. So we do their continuing education every month. They have to come to training with us. And then they have a certain amount of hoops that they have to jump through, which includes their SACE training. It also includes attending a certain amount of continuing education hours. We also run a survey twice a year with our parents. So we canvass our parents twice a year about their teachers. And if our teachers are meeting certain criteria, they actually get a reduced royalty at the end of the year. So we have a number of checks and balances, and our quality of care is very, very high. If we ever do get a complaint, because of how hands-on we are with our parents, the complaints will come to us. There are very few and far between, and then we're very hands-on in maintaining our quality. So I've managed a brand before. I know that a brand is as weak as its weakest link, and or as strong as its weakest link, and so we maintain quality as a real priority. To answer your second question, where are the bottlenecks? Getting quality teachers can be a bottleneck. That's probably our longest process to get our quality teachers, but we've just actually solved, well, we hope we've solved for that particular bottleneck. Up until now, we used to vet our teachers, and they could only become trained once they had reached a certain, once they'd gone through all of the criteria. But what we're changing it to now is that any teacher can be trained in our program. And once they're in training, because of the amount of hands-on time we have with them online, we're going to actually vet them in that process. And so we'll be able to pick and choose the best teachers out of each cohort of training. And those teachers will then be upscaled to become fully fledged PlaySense micro school teachers or online teachers.
Oh, there we go. Okay, one more question from the audience, from Louise. Hi, Louise from Take My Word. She's a pitch coach. She's awesome. She's down here in South Africa as well. She said, let us know who you envisage as your ideal investor. No need to say names, but who are you really looking to raise money from at this stage?
So at this stage, we because of the number that we're looking to raise, which is under $1 million, most of the international bigger VCs have asked us to get back to them, and we have spoken to many of them. They've asked us to get back to them in 6 months' time when we've had a little more traction. Ideally, it's probably going to be an angel or a family office investor or a seed investor, angel investor, who's going to come alongside us. In the case of Enigma Ventures, who was our first seed investment that we received last year, they are on our board and have been really have come alongside us with mentorship, and we are very open to that. We also are currently looking at a couple of strategic relationships. So we've pitched 2 businesses in particular, one of whom has a very strong digital footprint and the other one who has bricks and mortar schools. And both of those would be good strategic relationships for us as well.
Awesome. Okay, good to know. We are launching a poll now for people in the audience to indicate whether they would invest or how much they would invest in PlaySense. So you can get a good sense of that from the general public. But in the meantime, I will go and we like to put our angels kind of on the spot and say, would you invest if it was up to you and you were on the spot today? Would you invest, and kind of why or why not, or what's your final feedback around that? Maybe starting with, I guess Lelemba is barred from this one because the answer is obviously yes. I don't know if Lelemba, you want to share maybe some feedback from having PlaySense in your portfolio, and then we can go into toward Michelle, who's with ABSA as an industrial investor and then institutional investor, excuse me, and then to Hans. Any feedback or words of from your experience, Lelemba?
Yeah, I guess the proof is in the pudding. We've already invested as number one, but it's very exciting to see how Meg and her team have navigated. Definitely still excited about this business, and every time I hear her pitch, I still get goosebumps. So yeah.
Thanks, Lelemba.
Michelle, maybe?
Yeah, I think thanks, Wendy. I think from my side, Meg, it's a really good business proposition. I think you've thought through it. I think, as you kind of navigate the homeschooling, I think that potentially has a larger revenue upside for you in terms of the percentage that you get back from it. So if you could make that work with that age group and kind of think creatively about that, or maybe target a different audience, stay-at-home moms who just need some support, that might be a really, really good revenue. I think from my side, obviously, it's not really in my sphere of investment as a bank, but definitely I think it is a company that is worth investing in.
Thanks, Michelle.
Hans, please. Thanks, Michelle.
Yeah, so the 3 top lines, right? One is obviously product. You seem to have a product that is working. That's great. You seem to have a team in place. You come across very well, Meg. I can feel that you love what you're doing. You're really dedicated. You come across very strongly presenting. and then it's execution. So I'm very positive to continue this discussion with you, but I would really drill down on the business model to understand that deeper, the unit economics, and also coming back to what Michelle said, how can you expand your business? If you get a customer, you lose them in 2 years, right? Why don't you try to see how can I keep the customers for 10 years? So you really try to already now envision, I'm gonna follow the kid until they are out of university, do the whole journey, but put that vision on paper. You don't need to do everything at once, but at least have that idea of how you can actually build your business into something really big. And there's a company called EF, which is actually founded by a Swede. That company is huge today. He started out with school trips on during the summer where kids went to England to teach English. And it now is a global big company within education. Look at their website, read a little bit about them, and see how they kind of did their journey. They've been around for a long time now, but that, just to put, the dream in place, a big vision.
Yeah, thanks, Hans. Yeah, we do have a big
Thank
picture. You. We have a 5-year vision from pregnancy through to 5 years old, which I would love to share with you. But thank you very much. I'd love to continue the conversation.
Perfect. Thank you, Hans. And from the poll, we'll share the results now. It looks like over 50% or 50% of the audience would invest over $25,000 in PlaySense. That's great feedback, and great feedback also from the angels and investors, both current and potentially future. Meg, if you want to drop your contact details or more about PlaySense and where we can find out more about PlaySense in the chat, then there can be some follow-up conversations. I see Louise had a couple of follow-up questions around how much you've raised up to date from past investors, etc. So maybe another conversation you can take offline. But overall, thank you so much. Incredible pitch and even more incredible product. I think education is where it quite literally all begins, be it emerging market or developed markets at all. So thank you so much. Great pitch. And
thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, of course. Perfect. Okay, we're going to move back to Zanele, who we hope is able to rejoin us. Will you try unmute? Let's do a quick audio check, and then I'm going to help out. There we go.
Pitch deck. Can you hear me?
Great. I think we are in better shape, so that's perfect. I am going to help out. We're going to do a little bit of a tag team situation here. Let me see if I can get this also to full screen. Hold on. And enter full screen. You can tell me how this looks. Are we okay?
Are we okay?
Okay, awesome. You'll just have to tell me next slide, but we'll work together on this one.
Okay.
Let me just get your 5 minutes on the clock. Thanks for being flexible. I think this speaks to, entrepreneurship as a founder, pivoting, improvising at all times. So this is just part of the test. But take your time, and whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and start.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry, before I start, I can't see myself on the screen. Can you guys see me?
I can see you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm back here again. My name is Zanele. I'm the CEO of Wello. So Wello is a health tech company based in South Africa with the aim of growing, globally and also in the continent. The problem that we're solving is the problem of access to at-home healthcare for Africans. We have two types of customers that we service currently at the moment. We have B2C and we have your B2B. Quick nutshell or journey of our B2C customer. It will be Zanele, who's staying in a township, has to take 2 taxis to the hospital to get her chronic medication at about 4 a.m. so that by 5 a.m. she's one of the first people in the queue. Then she has to spend the whole day at the hospital waiting to get her meds, and then have to go home at about 12 p.m., 2 p.m. latest. So it means now that one of our typical clients has lost time, has lost money, and has lost half of her day. Most of our clients are working class. So it's no work, no pay. So you lose money going to the hospital, you lose money at work, you lose half of your day. It's just an inconvenience. Where Welo comes in is that with just the click of a button, we get your script, we go and fetch your medication for you, and then we drop it off at your home. So by the time you knock off, your medicine is there waiting for you at home. And then we have your B2B, which is at-home labs and at-home healthcare. Our typical clients are your insurance companies, your medical practitioners, those who do telehealth. So a doctor will do a consultation over the phone, then they will send Welo to a patient's home to go and get the saliva, urine, blood samples, etc., and transport it to the nearest lab. For that, we use our gig nurses. So for the delivery, we use gig scooter drivers, and for that, we use gig nurses. Our traction so far, we started operating last year in December. So our traction thus far is that we've clinched a very big contract with Discovery Medical Aid here in South Africa, one of the biggest medical insurance companies in Africa. We're doing 1,000 patients per month, where we're doing at-home IV, at-home labs, at-home wound care, etc. And we also, with our B2C, we have a traction currently of now sitting at 78 recurring clients per month, because we're using a lot, most of our customers are in chronic medication. And our fundraise, we've recently closed a fundraising round pre-seed of $200,000 US from international investors. Our funding ask is $550,000 US, which will go towards a 12 months runway, product development, because we want to establish more of the tech so that we can scale easily, scale from South Africa to the rest of the continent, operating expenditures, and the team growth. And if you want to learn more about us, we at www.welo.health. And the team is myself, and we have an engineering lead. I've been an entrepreneur since 2008, mostly in traditional business. Then I started in tech. I started playing around in tech in 2020. And Lwazi is the one who's been in tech for most of the time, more than 15 years, mostly in the engineering field. Thank you so much, guys, for your time, and hope you enjoy this Welo journey with us.
Thank you so much, Zanele. I know that was a bit of improvisation, and my matchup of the deck was not super on point. So if any of the investors need to see one of the slides or any of the slides at any point, let me know. I can stick them back up. But incredible pitch. Thank you. That was very clear, and what a great product. I will hand it over to the angels for some questions, and a reminder that the audience can throw some questions in the chat as well. So I'll keep an eye on that. Angels.
Great, thanks, Zanele. I think it's a great presentation. Just a question on your B2C model. I know that you're probably not only focusing on, working class, as a customer base, but just want to understand your commercial model for this, and how you, how you're making a profit with paying drivers, paying nurses, delivery fees and all that, given the fact that they probably have a very low income base to start with. And just what is your plans in terms of what market are you targeting? Is it just the working class, or are you also going to be targeting busy executives, or people that just don't have the time to even go into maybe a private healthcare system? Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for that question, because when we started this, like you saying, my concern was that will the working class be able to pay for this? So when we started, I was not even marketing to them. I was marketing to your Zaneles in the suburbs. I was marketing to the clients that, because Uber Eats is also in the market. They're doing the delivery, medicine delivery. So I was looking to the people who are working with these scams, etc., etc. Then I got an order for somebody who was in the townships. And I was like, we don't do township, because will they afford? But I said, you know what? A client is a client. Let me take on this one client. And then we found out that those are the people that are really using us, like the 95% of our customers. And at first, the mistake that we did, I wanted to be on par with Uber, compete with Uber on price. And they have money for days. So the first month I was charging 35 rands. And then I was like, no, I'm not making it, because from that 35 rands, I had to pay the scooter driver 25 rands, because I had to pay them what your master deliveries, your Ubers were paying. And I was like, no, I'm not making this. Then in month 2, which was in January, I went back to our clients and I said, guys, no, we're not making profit, and I'm not Uber. So the new price is going to be 79 rands. This is what will make me give you a better service, and also for the company to be profitable. Because from that 79, the 25 will go to the driver, then the rest will come to Welo. And they were like, yo, we can even pay 120. You don't know how much you're saving us. So don't worry, increase the price. It's okay. So for me, it was just like you, it was a shock, but it was a nice shock. So yeah, so obviously I didn't charge them 120, but we did 79. And then that's how we knew of this untapped market. Because remember, if you work in class, you're working at master price or etc., you're earning about 200 per day. So now if you have to go and have half of your day, take a day off, you losing that money. So it's better to pay now the 79 rand to Welo, peace of mind and everything. So that's how we started focusing more on them. We're not leaving the Zaneles in the suburbs, but it was a bit saturated there. And also we said, you know what, let's focus where we gaining much traction and we can have more impact, but we're not leaving them now. Then as we grow, then we also encompassing them. And yeah, so that's it. I hope it answers your question.
Yeah, great. Very interesting customer insights there. I think it's really great.
Yes. And I just got a question here. Okay, thank you so much. I just got a question here on the screen that asked how we got the discovery contract. With the discovery contract, I've been building in pub. So somebody reached out to me on Twitter, DM, with the email address of the discovery CEO, Adrian Go. So, and they said, you know what, we've been watching you, we love what Welo is doing. Go and knock on this door and see. Here's the email address. Then the following, after 2 days or so, crafting the cold email, I sent a cold email, and within like same day, I sent it at 5 a.m. because I knew that, CEOs and all of these people, they're very early wakers. So I said, I wanted to grab him before he talks to anyone else. So I sent it at 5 a.m. At about 8 a.m., I got a response. And to cut the long story short, I made a presentation to that team. That time, my laptop was broken. I was using my phone, keep saying, we. Yeah, but it went well. And they said, you know what, we want to work with Welo. We have this division called Home Care Division. Would you be able to work with us on that? Bring in your gig nurses to go direct to our clients' homes and do IV infusion, do wound care, do COVID monitoring, and we're going to add midwifery as we go. And they said, can you do all 9 provinces? And I said, no. Let's start with 4. Pace ourselves, get all our ducks in a row. Then after 3 months in, we'll then do national. So it means by December, we'll be doing national. So that's how we got the discovery opportunity. So yeah, I was just answering one of the questions on the screen.
That's great. That was Raj. He's a Thanks, Zanele. We do have a couple more from the audience, if I can jump in also. From Gerrit Steenkamp from the Africa Debate asked, how are you dealing with virtual consultations and prescribing medication over Schedule 4? Schedule 4.
We don't prescribe medication. No, we don't prescribe medication because when you deal with Schedule 4s or anything beyond Schedule, I think Schedule 2, you need to have all those pharmacy licenses, etc. So no, we don't do that. Not at the moment.
Okay.
We just take someone else's prescription and go and deliver based on that. So yeah, we don't sell medication at the moment.
Good clarification there. There was another question in there from Sarah Ngima, excuse me, about any other companies in South Africa dealing with home delivery and labs. So assuming then that your competitors are not then subscription providers themselves, it's really just the delivery infrastructure.
Yes, the people who are dealing with home labs are usually your freelancer nurses who are contracted to insurance companies, etc., etc. You know, like I think 2 years back, I also had an insurance with Sanlam, and they sent through a nurse to my home to come and draw blood. So that nurse doesn't work for Sanlam Insurance, but they're freelancers. They invoice Sanlam or those insurance company every time after they do a gig. So it's mostly people like that, freelancing nurses who are doing that like on their own. And there are also agencies, nursing agencies who are doing that. But a specific company who's into health tech, like we're doing, I don't know of any. If they are, I don't know of any.
Got it. Hans, it looked like you were going to say something.
Yeah, so thank you, Zanele. Great presentation. I love your energy. So if you look at the value chain, and again talking about vision, could you be an M-Pharm? Can you actually be a pharmacy online? So you kind of go all the way and say, I'm not only delivering, I'm also supplying, right? So you go into the website, you buy your stuff that you need, and you also hand over the prescription to you, and you fulfill the subscription, and you kind of take a bigger part of the value chain than just the delivery part. Have you discussed this, or have you any vision about that?
Yes, we have a mission about that. Like one of the people or the companies that I truly admire in the continent is M-Pharma. So yes, that's where we head into. So we've currently been in discussion with 2 pharmacy groups so that we can partner with them, have an online store, have them as our backup so that, with stock and everything, we tap into them. Then from then on, we grow and get the necessary licenses, and now have our own distribution centers, have our own dark store. So that's the vision that's in the works for us as we grow and as we raise more funds.
Great.
I think the interesting part. Yeah, I mean, I think the interesting part here, if you build up a big customer base of patients, and then you have a plan already now how you actually can start fulfilling them with your own products or your own distribution center. I think that's it. That's a recipe for success. And this is nothing new. We have a couple of companies here in Sweden which has just grown tremendously big on this, right? Of the convenience of ordering anything online when it comes to medicine or health products. So I would love to see that in your pitch, actually, the long-term vision that you have.
Okay, thank you so much for that advice. I'll edit my pitch accordingly. Thank you so much for that advice.
Zanele,
I've got a question on how you were reaching potential customers, particularly on the B2C side. Just like, what's your marketing strategy? How are you planning on reaching people?
Okay, currently, the first marketing strategy, at first, when you start and make mistakes, we used to go to traffic lights. I would go there on Saturdays with my team and do flyers, and people don't want to open their windows, etc., etc. Then that one failed. Then I was like, okay, hold up, let's go to the pain points, to where they are. So go to them at 5 a.m. when they're busy waiting on that queue, when they're cold and irritated and all of that. So that's when we started doing. I used to start doing it on my own before we had a team. I would go to the hospital from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. and then sign people up on the spot. And then word of mouth spread. So now we have students who do the same. Now I train them how to do it. They do the same. So that's how we signing most of our clients. But once we build a proper tech, I think tech will also help us with the marketing. We're also using social media, but really the one that has proved to be a big success is our people being there on the spot. So now we're trying to find out a tech that can help us accelerate our marketing process. Flyers, no, we're no longer doing flyers, and they didn't work. So yeah, so we're constantly fine-tuning and seeing what works best. At the moment, what works best is having our team from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. at the hospitals. Then it becomes word of mouth as well. Yeah. So we're constantly fine-tuning it because we want to use tech to scale our marketing endeavors.
It's a great question, Lelemba.
And then
Michelle?
just a quick question from my side. I think a key success to this startup would also be the ecosystem that you grow around you in terms of partnerships, you know, not having to get pharmaceutical licenses, etc. You know, what is your outlook for the different partnerships that you are driving towards as, you know, in parallel to your growth strategy?
Yes, we're starting to have some partnerships with people who are in the health ecosystem. The first one is with Lelemba. Lelemba is a health tech company based here in Cape Town. So they are like a place to go for your gig workers. If you are a gig nurse, gig healthcare, doctor, whatever, you register with them and look for gig work there. So we've made some partnerships with them because, you know, now that we're getting more jobs, we are recruiting in-house as well, but there are times where you need outside capacity when you, like now, just yesterday, we signed a 3-month contract with a company that's doing clinical trials. So we quickly needed at least 15 nurses that are supposed to start on Monday with the clinical trials. So for those things, we have Lelemba to be one of our partners with the capacity. And who else is our partners? Then we have our scooter drivers who are our partners with delivery. Then we have the nurses that we recruit ourselves. Those are our partners when it comes to delivering at-home healthcare. So at the moment, yeah, those are the types of partners that we have. And I really, really enjoy as well networking with my peers, even competitors in the space, because we have competitors who are in Lagos, and, you know, we talk a lot, you know, brainstorm and things like that. So I see my competitors as well as my partners, because we don't have to reinvent the wheel in other things. We learn from them and see where we can perfect our model as we grow, because we just 9 months or 10 months old.
And Zanele, any interest in working with government in South Africa?
Oh, yes. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot to talk about that one. We approached government as they were doing the vaccination rollouts, because, you know, in South Africa, the vaccination rollout has been very slow. Yes, so we said, okay, we can help you. We can go to the rural areas. We can go to the townships. We have a reach there where you cannot reach. We can go there with our nurses. You just provide everything. We just come with the nurses that can do vaccinations. And they were very happy with our proposal. So we're going to start with a pilot of 30,000 vaccinations. It's going to be in Eastern Cape, in Mpumalanga, and in some townships here in Johannesburg. So yeah, but however, that one is a pilot of 30,000 vaccinations. If it goes well, then it will go to more. So yeah, that's the job that we do with government. Yeah, and last week, Saturday, they called us to come and do a campaign with the Department of Western Cape in Khayelitsha, where it was a whole day campaign with our nurses. They were vaccinating people in Khayelitsha. So yeah, that's the government works so far.
Well done. I am going to cut you off ever so slightly. We're at the end of our 15 minutes for Q&A, but I do have to say, if I can give feedback around your anecdotes that you've added just off the side of your pitch that weren't even included in your deck, around your market insights that you found with township economies from the beginning, and the ways that you've pivoted, and you know, paper flying at you know, stoplights. You clearly light up when you talk about those aspects of the business and those learnings that you found. And so if you can find a way to maybe incorporate those into your pitch, that's where I think the bulk of your business and your success has shined through. But incredible pitch. Thank you guys for also your feedback from the angels. We did get a request from I think current investor, Vishal, if you are still on the call. Vishal is a Nest frequenter, and he did say that he wanted to come on and say something, which we will allow if you're around. Vishal, are you still here?
Thank you, Lundi. Good afternoon, everybody. Zanele, always great to hear you. Raj and I'm really proud to be backing you. And Hans, I came on just to say to you, you must join us on the cap table. Okay, we're going to take Zanele next to Kenya on the backs of one of our portfolio companies here. And then to specifically your point of online pharmacy, we're investors in a B2B online pharmacy business live stores in Nigeria that we're going to cross-pollinate with Zanele. So we're really excited about her trajectory, and we want to see a friend like you join us on the cap table. So, hopefully you've taken this poll, but are you ready with your checkbook? We want to see that wire transfer.
There you go. Vishal took my job for me.
Vishal is not one to let go lightly. So he'll be chasing you for this for a while.
And Raj, good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. And that kind of brings us to the end. But Zanele, again, phenomenal pitch. You got great feedback. We're sharing poll results now that I can't do this quick of math, but a significant over 90% of the audience would invest some amount of money into Willow. So congratulations. Hopefully that translates. And we've also dropped some of your contact details in the chat. There was plenty of questions from the audience and interest from the audience. So I hope that you guys will reach out to Zanele maybe separately via LinkedIn. And that brings us to the end of the first of actually 2 Nest sessions today on Invest Africa's The Africa Debate. Thank you all for joining us, and especially to Meg and Zanele for your pitches. Really, really happy to see you guys and hope to see you soon. So thanks, everyone. See you maybe this afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well done, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks
Thank you.
again.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Lindy. Well done. Thanks.
Thanks, Raj. Good to see you.
Bye.
Thanks, Hans. Great to see you. And Michelle, thanks for joining. Louise, good to see you, as always. And see you guys maybe this afternoon. It's in the next couple hours. I can never keep track of all the time.
Yeah, I think I'm doing
Raj is joining us as an angel. Jim will be awake by then in San Francisco, and we have 2 Nigerian companies pitching, which will be exciting. So
I'll change my hat.
yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I will. Yeah, we'll probably have an outfit change in there somewhere. Thanks again, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end. Oh, Fiona, you might need to end it for us, possibly. I can leave it, but I can't end it.